Hi guys, today in this lesson we're going to learn how to count how many digits there are in a product, and the product will usually contain the number 10 to a certain power times some other number. So for example, we're going to learn how many digits there are in the product of 10 to the 8th power times 16. So we don't have to actually find the product, we don't have to write the answer down, we just need to know how many digits it contains. Just to clarify what a digit is, if we have a number like 234, this is a 3-digit number. So we're just looking for how many digits are in the answer to 10 to the 8th power times 16. Okay, so let's start. Without even writing down 10 to the 8th power, I should know that when I multiply 10 times itself 8 times, that's basically a 1 with 8 zeros. So it's a 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You will not have to write this number out every time. I'm just showing you as an example how that will look. So once you know that 10 to the 8th power is a 1 with 8 zeros, then what happens when I multiply that times 16? Well, what happens is instead of, this is 100 million, instead of 100 million, it will become 1600 million. So it's going to become 16 and then 8 zeros. Let's see if I counted that correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it becomes 16 with 8 zeros. And that's kind of how the language I want to focus on, because the numbers are going to get much larger than this and you're not going to want to write them all down. You're going to need to visualize this without actually writing out this 100 million, without actually multiplying it times 16. So the answer, I will not ask you for this answer. This is the answer to the product, but all we have to figure out is how many digits it has. Well, it's going to have those 8 zeros, and then it's going to have the 1 and the 6 when you multiply 1 and 1 times 6. So we're going to have 2 digits here, 8 digits here, so the answer is 10 digits long. And that's the answer that we're looking for. How many digits does it contain? So your answer in this case would be 10. Okay, let's do another example with a bigger number that we won't want to write down. So how many digits are in 10 to the 17th power times 14? Well, 10 to the 17th power is a 1 plus how many zeros? 17 zeros. When we multiply that by 14, what's going to happen is now instead of a 1 and 17 zeros, I'm going to have a 14 and 17 zeros. So all together, this is 2 digits right here, the 14. And then those 17 zeros are 17 digits because each one of them is a digit. So altogether, I have a 19-digit number. What it'll look like is it'll be a 1-4 with 17 zeros. So altogether, there are 19 digits in that answer. And that would be your answer to how many digits are in the product of 10 to the 17th times 14. So let's try 10 to the 23rd times 9. All right, in this case, I have 10 to the 23rd power. Think about what that means. That's a 1 with 23 zeros. When I multiply that by 9, it simply becomes a 9 with those same 23 zeros tacked on. So the 9 is a single digit number. So it's just one digit, 9, digit, plus 23 more digits, those 23 zeros. So altogether, the answer to 10 to the 23rd times 9 should have 24 digits. It's going to be a 9 and 23 zeros. Okay, one more example. Let's take 10 to the 11th power times 137. Okay, again, break it down. 10 to the 11th power. It's a 1 with how many zeros? 11 zeros. And then when we multiply that by 137, I'm still going to have all those same zeros. I'm going to have a 1, a 3, and a 7 with 11 zeros. So think about how many digits that would be. That would be 3 digits here. So here's 3 digits for the 1, 3, and 7. And then the 11 zeros make 11 digits. So the answer, when I multiply 10 to the 11th times 137, will be 14 digits long. So that's how you figure out how many digits are in a product. As long as one of the bases is 10 with the exponent, it's pretty simple to figure out how many zeros there are and how many digits there are in front of those zeros. And all you have to do is say how many digits that answer would contain.